Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Chronic Burnout. I'm Carole Jean Whittington, Chief Wellbeing Officer here at Whittington Wellbeing. And today I have a fabulous guest. It's a lovely guest that you may have joined us with before, Kanan Tekchandani. And we did this fabulous episode last year about organizing your space and clearing your energy. And we did a workshop together. It was so much fun. Kanan shared with me that she has a new workshop, a new experience coming up. And I was so thrilled and I can't wait to talk about it.
Step out of the shadows, feel the power rise, catch the spark inside you, let your spirit fly. Beyond the chronic burnout, Carole Jean's your guide, find your steady rhythm, life's joy on the tide. Flourish forward, bright and bold, leave the burnout far behind. In this journey, hearts unfold. Power's yours, seek and find.
But to get us started today, I read this to Kanan when we were in the green room, and I said, this is a new card deck that I got, and it's so beautiful. It's called the Rose Pocket Oracle Deck by Rebecca Campbell. And these beautiful cards are really focused on our feminine energy. And I know if you guys have been around for a hot second in this space, you know, I got a lot of masculine, like go, do energy. And part of this last year for me has really been leaning in more to that feminine energy, that receiving energy, not just the doing and creating, because I am a generator in my human design. So y'all know I am like always, plus the ADHD, I am always doing. But I've learned more to lean into the being. And the card that I pulled this morning that's so beautiful, it's called Trust the Seasons. Change, transition, growth, and cycles. And the image is this woman standing in front in this beautiful white dress, and there's multiple images of her behind with this beautiful cycle of the rose. And I'll show that just for everybody that's on YouTube joining us. It's so pretty. So this is what it says. Trust the seasons, change, transition, growth, cycles. Our disconnection from the earth and her seasons leads us to believe that we should be in full bloom all year long. That we should grow without leaving space to cut back. When we focus on the never-ending bloom, we forget the importance of all of life's cycles. The rose, like all of nature, teaches us this every day. She's forever showing us how to embrace the ever-changing seasons in an ever-changing world. We're not meant to stay the same. Relationships aren't meant to stay the same. Life isn't meant to stay the same. Nothing on this planet is meant to stay the same. The seasons teach us that. Night and day teach us that. Time and age teach us that. Birth and death teach us that. We may return to a place, a person, but things won't be exactly as they were. For everything and everyone is forever changing. Nothing is static. The more we try to control things and keep them the same, the further away from the flow of life and ourselves we get. Change can be scary, for it means surrendering to the unknown, of being in the in-between, to being not who we were and not quite who you'll become. It requires a trust in the transformation, in the death and in order for the rebirth to occur, and a deep reverence for all the seasons of our life. The more we resist change, the further away we are from who we're becoming. When we embrace change, we embrace life and nature and are forever becoming, an inquiry for your soul. How can you embrace the changing seasons of your life? Ooh, Kanan, that just resonated so deeply with me today. What about you?
Oh, it's just so beautiful, and, this was the second time I heard you read it, and it just goes deeper the second time.
Same. Kanan, what does it mean for you to be in that in between, that becoming?
Hmm, what does it mean? It feels like a scary place, but the meaning I now give it is there's a natural purpose for that transition, that there's something new coming, something new that I'm becoming, and it's an evolution, it's meant to happen. So we just have to get through that discomfort, that uncertainty, the destruction, and something beautiful will come out the other side of it. That's what it means to me.
Ooh, yes. And I don't know about you, Kanan, but I have specifically found that that journey of the becoming, the messy middle, the in between, where we're not quite who we were, but we're not quite who we're becoming in the process, that there's a duality there. There is a journey of solitude, of reflection, but then there's also, and this was the part that took me a little longer to really embrace because there was a lot of fear in this for me, but it was the duality of that place and the in between, the clarity and the becoming, and sort of where I got really comfortable
Mm.
was in community and connection with other women.
Mm. Mm. Yes. And can I say something to you, which is why I'm here? I've realized that that's what I need and I don't have a community to support me through that. Don't get me wrong, there are women in my life, but it's this deeper, more sustained connection. And for whatever reason, life, busy, putting our attention on other things. But I've got to this point in my life where I can see this is what is needed, not just for me, but all the women that are in my life have been saying they need this deep connection and support, and it's all around the world too. So yeah, it just makes sense. It's for all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing. I have a group of women that I joined recently, and we created sort of a sisterhood, four of us, about a year ago, and we had met in this business group that we're in, and we got all together at this conference. And one of the speakers was Lori Harder, and I love her energy. I love her heart, and she was talking about a net and how the tightrope walkers, they're people at each corner of the net underneath them.
Mm.
And the person that's walking the tightrope has a relationship and has built the trust in the four people on each corner of that net,
Mhm.
and how they all work together to support one another.
Mhm.
And you can't, one person can't drop their side of the net, but together you're all holding those corners when one person may not be as strong or need support if they fall.
Right.
And when you and I were talking a few weeks ago and you shared with me, you said, Carole Jean, I noticed I don't have that circle, that support. It's something I'm really looking for, my heart is seeking. And I thought, I went so I remember from a very young age having this loneliness, this aching, this
Mhm.
place of desperately wanting close girlfriends, that you can laugh with, that you can cry with, that you can go just be with in silence and companionship if that's what you need that day. And a friend of mine had written something so beautiful, and we were kind of texting back and forth recently, And she wrote an article sort of speaking to the conversation we had had. And she said, sometimes I just need an in-person person.
Mm-hmm.
I just need somebody I can walk with who can understand maybe I don't want to talk, or maybe I want to talk a little bit and then have some quiet, and how we can support each other. And there's so many places, and I think there's so many of us that our hearts are aching and longing
Mm.
for that deeper connection and community. And you have something really beautiful that you said, this is what I have found, Carole Jean, and this is what I'm doing. So share with us, what is the Sisterhood Circle, please?
Okay, so the Sisterhood Circle, the mission is to actually create 1 million circles around the globe of women for women, where we support each other, we empower each other, and we can be our messy selves, we can be authentic. So the reason why we want to try and create 1 million is it's said to be a tipping point. A tipping point where, we're living in this very masculine dominated, patriarchal world, and we need to rebalance things. And so when women come together and we support each other, we're cultivating that feminine leadership, which we need to change things in the world, to wake people up that there's a better way. So I've joined this mission, so that I can play my part locally, but also, we get to try this out online as well. And yes, there's power in person, but luckily, we have the internet, and it means we can reach people all over the world, and that's still connection too. So it's really just bringing women together to be their authentic selves. And when we're in person, we can hold each other when times are tough, and we can also celebrate each other. And it's to go against the competition and the division that's been created, many, many years ago, really to put women down and suppress our power. And I just feel now is the time we need women to be leading. So that's what it is and why I'm here.
And I couldn't agree with you and be part of this movement even more. So I taught my hormone harmony workshop yesterday, and that was one of the things that we were sharing about, because men are testosterone driven. That is the hormone that leads them. It's the natural space for them. And they run on a 24-hour clock.
Mm.
They move through all of their cycles, all of their seasons within that 24 hours. And as women, we are estrogen and progesterone dominant. We have testosterone as well, but that's our tertiary. And just like estrogen and progesterone are secondary and tertiary for men. But it's that we have been trying to conform and live within this 24-hour, very testosterone masculine framework that does not align with our 28-day cycle. Even if you are in perimenopause or postmenopausal, even if you are no longer having a cycle, you are still having this cycle.
Yes.
And part of that is that we have this restoration and restore week.
Right.
And it's that week that when we really lean into that nesting, that resting and restoring, that fuels us for the rest of the month.
Mm.
But we're so busy in that, sort of back to that card that I started with, we're in that bloom, bloom, bloom cycle.
Yes.
And so I think we've given away our natural strength.
Yes.
And we're in this place of reclaiming. And I think the power of what the Sisterhood Circle does, and just the conversation that you and I have had and the one we're having today to share with others, is that coming together to experience these cycles, these seasons, and to support one another, not in competition, not in this constant production mentality of we have to achieve, but into our own leadership and our own voice.
Yeah.
Oh, Kanan, I would love to know what has been your personal experience because you joined this global movement of the Sisterhood Circle and you have been a practicing part of this. What has been your personal experience with it? What's changed or shifted for you?
Oh, what I'll say is it's always a surprise when you go into something like this and you get just profound insights that you didn't expect. So so I joined this training um, because I just had a vision, right? I just had a vision of women in a circle, and I didn't know what it meant, but I just trusted my intuition and I followed it. And one of the sort of themes that we talk around is the wounding that we've had from our sisters, which is why we can't trust, which is why we then don't have community. And so the questions are, uh, have you been wounded by a sister, as in a friend or a real sister? And to sort of reflect on that. And maybe it was a mother wound you experienced, or it could be a witch wound, because a lot of us, we feel like we can't express that side of ourselves, the kind of magical, intuitive side. And I went in there and I said, I don't think I've got any wounds. I'm okay. And then as the weeks progressed, and what I can now look back on is there's a cumulative sense of safety and holding as you turn up each week and you're in the presence of the same people, and it's just unconditional. You're going through the same experience. You see yourself mirrored in everyone. And yeah, after a few weeks, yeah, it hit me that yes, I do have wounds, but they're so deeply hidden. I did not think it was possible to go that deep in a group, in a circle, because if we just talk about the autism aspect, I've always been very comfortable on my own, in my own company. Um, I'm okay out there in the world, love one to one, um, but groups have always been more challenging for me. So another reason for this is doing this is to, to grow, to push myself out of my comfort zone and see what else is out there that is rich and juicy for me to experience in life. What am I missing out on? So when I've realized these wounds exist, it gives me a chance to heal them because the light has been shone on them. And I really truly believe wounds that happen in relationship have to be healed in relationship. So you have to be with people. You have to regain that sense of trust. And so, yeah, that's what's been happening for me. And yeah, I'm so grateful. And every time I talk to someone else outside of the circle and I hear their needs that truly that would be supported in a circle, and it gives me a sense of empowering this mission to happen. I might be one person and I might be scared, but there's a bigger purpose than me. And that's why it's worth doing. It's worth pushing through that transition, that discomfort, and just seeing what's on the other side and trusting the process. So I just feel it's been magical, beyond what I expected. I've been in circles all my life, actually, when I think about it. Um, when I was doing my yoga teacher training, we sat in circle. It was profound. We truly could be ourselves, our authentic selves, and let all our emotions out. Everything was welcome. And then when I started teaching kids and holding little circles in my yoga mindfulness classes, I could see what difference it made. And more recently, I was reflecting back to, when I was younger, when I was at school, I did have a great group of friends, a great group of girls that held me and supported me. And I thought, what's happened? Maybe it's because, you become a parent, you focus on your work, you don't make the time for it. It's And it's highlighting to me that we need to make the time for it, because it makes life so much easier and just more enjoyable, fun. We can laugh, we can cry. It means we can express all of our emotions instead of having to do everything ourselves. So my experience has been, as a mum, you hold the house together, you hold the family together. And that's hard, that's hard. And I know that in my past, looking at my mother and my grandmother, all the generations before me, it was exactly the same. The women had to hold everything together. Where was the support? So now that I'm getting this sense of support, it feels like a no-brainer. It's like we have to do this. This is what we always were meant to do. We were always meant to come together. So rather than this, being productive and efficient on top of everything, no, it's not meant to be like that. We're humans, and we are perfectly imperfect, and we should be able to own that in a safe space. So this is for me, it's created a sense of safety. It's created a space for me to feel able to be vulnerable too. Because in my work, I hold the space for people to be vulnerable. And I realized, hey, I would love this too, in community. So yeah, it's just been a real gift.
Mm. I cannot say how transformational it has been. In the unveiling method, we have our accelerate circle, and the growth and the transformation that comes from the community of women that come together. And really, as you said, it's one of the places where when we can begin to unmask and really take off that heavy camouflaging and just say, this is what I feel or experience today. This is what's been going on for me. And to have that reflected back where the room or the majority of people in the room go, oh, I get that.
Mhm.
I understand that. Or I've experienced that. Or I've been feeling it too, but I didn't have the words you just shared. And that's, I think also with alexithymia and being ADHD, that is in circle and community and connection conversation is where I have found some of the most clarity and understanding about myself through the gift of other women. So, Kanan, my autistic self, because I want to know what am I walking into if I join and come to a sisterhood circle? Should I expect? Like from the time I get there to the process of what we experience while I'm there, what is exactly the experience of joining and being part of a sisterhood circle?
Mm. So it's a sacred space. So as soon as we step into the sacred space, we're doing things like clearing energy. So we might be doing some smudging. Um, we'll be grounding. So meditations that connect us back to the earth, for example. There'll be visualizations that are based on a theme that we want to cultivate. So it could be on the wounds, or it could be, some form of archetype, like the Queen archetype, how we can step into that power. It would also include movement. So we know, I think we both know movement is so important as a way to process our emotions, to shift from the dark to the light. So there will be, it could be dancing, it could be yoga. Um, so it's got a lot of flexibility, but there's always some form of movement to shift that energy. And then of course there's the very potent questions, the questions that we all get to reflect on. And in that circle, we each have time to be able to speak and to be heard, to be seen and reflected back to. And so it is a sacred space. That's the key thing I want to say. Um, so I want to make sure people know it's not kind of like a networking event type thing. No, all our emotions, all our messiness, all our truth is welcome. This is what,
Oh,
yeah.
that's a beautiful space. That is a glorious container to be held in. So, why do women, especially sensitive neurodivergent women, need this? And why right now?
Well, I think that from personal experience, when we're sensitive, going out there and meeting other people feels dangerous. It can feel dangerous because we're misunderstood. We can pick up on other people's energy, and
That's the one that gets me.
yeah, that can really knock us. Um, and I think the being misunderstood and trying to find a place where we can land. I've heard so many people, so many women say they just haven't found that place, right? They are still seeking. So yes, we can go somewhere for connection over a hobby or a shared interest. But this goes so much deeper. And sensitive women who feel a lot, we have a lot of emotions, sensations that don't get expressed. And we have to hold that in ourselves. And we've probably done that all our lives. And maybe we have been lucky enough to find an outlet here or there, if we've been lucky. But wow, if we bring all this richness, all these women that have so much to share, so much insight, can you imagine? Can you imagine the sense of holding and just being met exactly as we are? That is why we need this now. I know I need it. And I think, if there's anyone out there that feels the same, where can I go where all my emotions can be welcomed, embraced, and loved? Where is that place? I can't think of too many places. I'd go to yoga, and yes, I go to things like drumming. These sorts of places, yes, these things are wonderful. But to be able to speak our truth and be heard, that's why it's important. We shouldn't have to hold it in. There's so much within us. It must be shared. It's powerful. It's wisdom that we get to share with not just ourselves, but the next generation. And I think sensitive women are particularly aware of the state of the world. They are aware of perhaps some of the generational patterns that have been passed down that they've been wounded by, but they don't want to pass it down any further. They want it to end here and now. And this gives them a chance to do that, because when they get to see themselves and reflect on their own experience and stop the patterns, wow, what a legacy that we get to leave behind. And that's why I think, these women, we should be doing it, and this is why we need to do it now. The world seems very crazy right now. So we can do something about it, but we need to feel held, and we need to feel that we are a collective that can do this, that we're not just doing it on our own. And we do this for ourselves, but we're also doing it for a greater cause.
Oh, just knowing that we can remove that heaviness, that feeling of the weight of responsibility, of I'm the only one doing this. I'm the only one that cares. I'm the only one that can make a difference. And this is so huge, and there's not enough me to make it really happen. And I think so many of us can feel that way in isolation.
Yeah.
But it's when we come together. It is in this beautiful strength, in this weaving of our story and our energy and our intention and our heart that is so truly healing.
Mhm.
And that also becomes this place where we expand and elevate together in a more powerful way than we ever could on our own.
Yes. Yeah, we were never meant to do it on our own. That's the fallacy, that's the story that we've been sold, and we've tried so hard to make it work. And we're just exhausted, we're burnt out, right? And
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
not meant to be there.
we're not. You know, Becca Lori Hector and I have a Things That Really Matter episode that's out. And we were talking about why we don't ask for help so often, especially as autistic women. And we follow the rules. You give us the rules and you say, this is what it's supposed to be. But I think there's also this societal piece for women in general, which is you must be independent. Oh, you're such a good girl. You did that all by yourself.
Right.
And that's the messaging that we receive. And so it's like, oh, I have to do everything all by myself. I have to be independent. And the truth is, none of us are independent. We are all interdependent.
Yeah.
And the place of power is truly in the growth and the healing and the transformation is when we open ourselves to the power, because it is incredibly powerful
Mm.
to be interdependent. It is
Mm.
giving your power away and very powerless to be in a pursuit of independence,
Yes.
in my opinion. And I think when we are focused on interdependence, there is so much personal power and there's so much authority and voice and leadership that we have individually, but that we amplify collectively.
Mm. So true, so true. It's it's this sense of lifting each other, isn't it? That, yeah, together we are so much stronger. That if one of us falls, we're all there to catch you. That's a real gift, isn't it?
Mm.
Don't we all want
Yes.
that really deep down? We all want to feel that we can collapse and be caught. But we have to pretend right now, right now we have to pretend we're okay. We have to push through. And it's just a lot of suffering that I think is needless.
Oh, that has just like brought tears to me just now. Because I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
You know what that feels like. You're
Yeah.
listening, and this may be how you're feeling. Oh, that's one of the greatest gifts in my healing and burnout restoration, getting into well being, has been this place that I know now I can fall when I need to, and I will be caught. I will be supported. I don't have to do it all myself anymore. And there is this great power that I did not know in surrender
Mm.
and in receiving from other women.
Yes. And don't you find that I think for a lot of us, we are so good at giving. That's our
Oh,
nature, that's our go-to.
it is our go to. That was my exact thought. That's our first response.
Overgiving to a fault. And so we're just so not used to how do we receive? And even when someone wants to give, how do you receive? How do you asking for something that feels really alien, maybe unsafe. Why though? What how has that happened? So to kind of retrain ourselves that we can trust others and what they're giving to us, that they want to give to us. That actually it's no different to what we're doing. We're giving, they just want to give back. It's a reciprocal, beautiful, dynamic exchange. That's what it's meant to be. it's not all us doing and giving. That's when it became dysfunctional somehow along the line. So let's wake up and not do that anymore. But we do have to change this habit that we've developed, and that can be hard on our own.
Mm, it really can. And we don't have to. I always say this, you don't have to. You don't have to do it alone. And Kanan, you have something really beautiful to invite people to today, which is your Sistership Circle Day, your Soul Sister celebration. Tell us about this. When is it? What's going to happen? How does this happen? And we're going to have a link down in the show notes so anybody that is interested and would like to join. But tell us about the Sistership Circle Day.
All right. So within the Sistership Circle, which has this mission of creating 1,000,000 circles, we're all coming together. There's going to be like 100 women coming together and holding circles around the same time. So it's kind of like around the solstice in June. So I'll be holding one on the 24th of June, which is kind of like midsummer in Northern Europe. And so this one's going to be online because I want to try and offer this to people around the world. So it's open to all women. We will be doing exactly what I kind of said. We'll be celebrating each other. We'll be going deep. We'll be asking these potent questions, allowing every single person to share and have their voice be heard, for them to be seen, for them to be given energy back. Right? We do this beautiful thing called beaming. So we beam energy back at the woman who is speaking, so she knows that she's loved and she's seen and heard. So yes, we'll be doing the meditations, the visualizations. It's going to be kind of my first one, so it's exciting and a bit scary at the same time. But I trust that the right people are going to come and they're going to get the medicine that they need in the circle, because the medicine itself is like an entity. This is not about me holding the circle. This is me allowing the circle medicine to be transmitted to whoever shows up. So if someone feels called that this is what they need, then I encourage them to come and play and just experience, because you don't know what it's going to be like till you experience it. Yeah.
Well, my soul sister, I will be there to support you. I will be there to receive and to give and to be part of this beautiful soul sister celebration. And I cannot wait for this because, that's to me one of the greatest things that has been the gift in my life is to be able to shine a light on others and to collectively shine a light on all of us and to be part of that healing, that love, that expansion, that elevation of our voices. Beautifully, wonderfully wired, very sensitive, very attuned, sparkly lights that we are.
Yes. We are sacred, and this is to honor all these women who are sacred. Every single one of us deserves this. And maybe we didn't get to experience that. So I hope that they'll get this magic at this, at this event. So yeah, that's my intention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. Please come join Kanan and myself. I'll be there in attendance for Soul Sister Celebration, the Sistership Circle Day on June 24th. The link will be down in the show notes. Come join a sacred space for your soul, for yourself, for your light, for your energy, for your healing. And you don't have to come with any intention, with anything that you feel like you have to give. You can simply come and receive what you need. This is for all of us. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for embracing your beautiful vision of that circle, Kanan.
Thank you so much for allowing me to share and just holding that space for me to put it out there.
Thanks for being here. It's been quite a ride. Energy mastery, let's turn the tide. Top shelf guests, dropping wisdom bombs. Join us next week, where the energy's strong.